Hello students, and I want to welcome you on our kind of bonus lecture. So here we're going to set up a kind of menu for our Chase game project, okay? So what we need first? First of all, we need an additional backdrop. So let us check out the backdrops. Oh, nice. Here we already have one empty. So let us just call it menu. I got a bug here. Let me just fix it fast. Okay, so I'm going to call it menu. One more thing before we start our menu affairs, we have nothing on our finishing screen, but I would like some text to be displayed here too. For example, at least game over text would be already pretty good so that our screen is not empty anymore. Okay, so this is pretty fine, I think. So now it's at least not empty. So that's pretty nice. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to create our own backdrop. So how can we do that? Actually, pretty easily. There is an instrument called rectangle. We can just stretch it all the way here. Okay, but now we've got another Blue Sky 2 backdrop. Let us paint it another color. Okay, so what can we do here? Actually, we can fill it with one color, but this doesn't really look good. Let us find something more interesting. Here we have 4 types of fill. Okay, this feels like the whole rectangle or the whole figure with just one color. This kind of fill, it will color your it will color your space from left color, and it will be like gradually switching to the right color. So there will be like cool effect. Here it's pretty much the same, but it works from top to bottom, and the last one works from the center to edges. Okay, so there's no really big difference in this logic, but only in the way of work. Okay, the first one paints from left to right, third one paints from top to bottom, and the last one from the center to edges. So I'll choose from left to right. And what will be my colors? What will be my colors? Let it be from blue to this one, maybe. No, this is way too bright. Maybe like this would do. Yeah, I think this kind of backdrop would do pretty well. Okay, nice. So we've got some kind of backdrop. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to add some text here. So let me name it Chase Game. But it's not going to be purple. Let me change this color too. So it's going to be, let it be either black or red, maybe. No, let it be orange. Feels good too. Okay. So let it be something like orange or something between orange and red, whatever. Okay, what can we do next? Next, we can actually put some pictures here. For example, pictures of our Mr. Cat and Bat, why not? So to do that, we can just go to our Mr. Cat's costumes. So I can just go to the second costume and copy, and it copies the whole picture here. And I can just paste it to my backdrop. So now this is a part of backdrop and it is a picture. This is not a sprite. Please do not get confused. And the same operations I'm going to do with my pet. Okay, so I'll just copy it, go to my backdrop and paste it over here. Okay, nice. So we've got like 2 pictures here. What can we do next? Next, let us add some buttons from the sprite library. So this button would do, and we need one more to quit our game. This button would do. Okay, so what can we do here? This button will be placed somewhere in the middle. Actually, we can replace our bat a little bit on this backdrop. Why? Because because this bed is not standing straight like this. Yeah, this looks much better. Okay, so we fixed a little problem. So now let us place the buttons on the places where they should be. So the quit button should be around here, and the play or start button, whatever, it should be here. So let me just rename them fast. This is going to be start button, and this is going to be quit button, just for our good. Okay, so it would be easy to recognize which one is starting and which one is quitting. Okay, so on the starting button, we can go to costumes and add some text here too. So we can just type in here start with black, of course. Otherwise, it will be not so noticeable, and just pull it on the center of the button. So now we've got a pretty good looking start button over here. So that's nice. For quit button, we do not need any text because it's a cross sign. I think it's pretty clear that it quits the game. So what we're going to do next is we're going to set up some events for our button. Okay, so first of all, we need to do something when we click our button. So when this sprite clicked, we're going to send a message. So we're going to broadcast a message. So we're going to create a new message that we're going to call game started. Okay, so we're going to tell our project game started when we click the start button. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're going to see when backdrop switches to menu, our button should show. Why? Because otherwise our button is going to be hidden. Okay, so there is like nothing special here. So we need our button only in menu, right? So we do not need it, for example, in jungle when we're playing. We do not need this start button. So when the backdrop switches to jungle, our button is going to hide. Okay, so next step, let us proceed to the quit button. What we're going to do here. Here we're going to do next steps. We can do this. When the backdrop switches to jungle, so one more thing here, in the start button when we broadcast game started, after that or before that, let us switch backdrop to jungle. Okay, let us switch the backdrop to jungle. Next thing, on the quit button, when the backdrop switches to jungle, this button should show. And when we go back to menu, this button should hide, because from the menu there's nowhere to exit. The only place we can exit is actually we can exit Scratch from the menu, but that's not what we need. When backdrop switches to menu, this button is going to hide. But there's one more thing, this button is pretty big. Let us set its size to like maybe 50 or 40%, and let us put it somewhere here, I guess. So like 225, 160, and let us go to here. Same thing, we can actually make our start button go to the coordinates too, just in case we occasionally drag something from the screen. Okay, so this is our quit button. We can make a script for the quit button. So when this sprite clicked, we can broadcast, or we can just switch back to the menu. Okay, so how it works now it works pretty fine. Okay, but I think you've noticed one problem. Why when we switch to jungle there is no game? That's correct. So we do not have any gameplay when we actually should start the game. So we broadcast the message that says game started, but it did not. So to fix this, we need to go to Mr. Cat's scripts and see that we do not actually have a handler for this. So our cat does not know what to do when it gets a message. Our game can only be started when we press the flag. But now let us change this and remove these flags from here. So we removed the flags, and now we can replace them with when I receive a message. So when I receive game started, only then my game is going to start working. The same thing is going to happen to the bat. So we're going to remove all these flags here, and instead of that, we're going to put when I receive game started. So now let us check all of this stuff we have done. Okay. So nice. Now my project has a menu, it has gameplay, but there is one small issue left over. Okay, so my score is 50. That's good. Let me press this quit button. Okay, now as you see, our cat can still walk on the menu backdrop. So what can we do? What can we do? So for Mr. Cat, we can set up a couple of scripts. So when backdrop switches to menu, our Mr. Cat can hide. Okay, and when I receive game started, it can show anywhere here or there, anywhere you put it, it's going to work. And now our project has a menu, has a gameplay, and has a condition of loss. That's pretty nice. So we've almost got a full game, but I will give you one more cool feature in the next video lecture.